Hello. Oh. How is everyone doing? All right, there we go. Hello, everyone. So early, I know. We had something going on campus today that I don't want to get into, but essentially, the chemistry department was like, hey, yo, this is happening in our building, so go home early. So here we are. Haha. Yeah, dude, the TWAB is insane. I thought, for the most part, in my opinion, this all seems pretty good. There's a big uproar about one of the changes, and I don't really understand the uproar because I feel like a lot of the arguments are in bad faith, or maybe I'm just like completely misunderstanding what's happening. So we're gonna talk about it. We're gonna go through and we'll skip all this shit. Sorry, DMG, you do an awesome job. It's great stuff. I didn't mean that. It's stuff. Yes. Okay. And so we're gonna talk about stuff. Did I ego? Yeah, you did ego me yesterday, Evade. That's fine. That's fine. But yeah, I thought most of the changes are really good, especially for those of us who prefer a little bit of a skill gap in PvP. And so that at least I want to go through these, and I want to voice kind of my interpretation of these changes, as always, and discuss with you guys whether or not you agree with A, my conclusions, and B, how, you know, my opinions on if that conclusion, if that's right, and if that is a good or a bad thing. Because I really do feel like a lot of the changes they've made are really going to push the skill gap, especially for people who play a lot in the air. So that's good. Evade, we were trying to get 10 people who had never done Vow of the Disciple, and we were doing Rolk checkpoints, the final boss checkpoints, because there's an emblem. I only got 6, so I still need 4 more, Evade. So if you would like to do a final boss CP, because I think you've never done the raid, right? Yeah. Is that Evade, the Slayer of the Mills? Oh no. So, but there are some huge changes. This has got to be one of the largest Sandbox changes ever. I think in terms of a single update type of thing, that everything they talk about here is going to launch on May 24th with season 17, and this is a lot of pretty large sweeping changes, which I'm always here for. I like seeing how they do it. You can tomorrow, Iron Man. Yeah, they pretty much updated the emblem. There's not gonna be a sky burner meta. You guys are nerds. All right, are we ready, chat? Didn't they change their requirements? So they re-changed it back. They did change it the first time, and then they just changed it back. I don't think I can show you Bungie rewards without, signing in, but, oh, actually, I think I can. Yeah, okay. So you can see here, yep, there's a brand new emblem for carrying 10 guardians through Vow the Disciple. Do you think Micro Missile will be a good catalyst, or would be? Has it been data mine? I don't like talking about data mine stuff, but that's actually sick. If that's that would be awesome. I'm not gonna lie. Now that I think about it, yeah, that'd be good. All right. Who's ready? Are we ready? All right, let's do it. Let's do it. In Season 17, the Sandbox team is making changes across all aspects of the Sandbox to improve the player experience. We don't really have to go through this stuff, but these are their goals here with this next update. Introduce levers to tune how players build for airborne gameplay. Allow players to mitigate for flinch. Reduce the number of one-hit kills in PvP. This is huge. Big yes from me. Address common feedback on weapons across all game modes. There you go. It's a joke. I want as reality. Yeah, that would be fantastic. That would be good. That would be good. Okay. Glaive Array. We've noticed that several aspects of how glaives interact with weapons and perks don't match player expectations. Because this is a longer TWAB, I'm not gonna read it word for word. I'm gonna do some skipping around to the actual meat of it. Here's what we changed already. This is what they changed this season. So glaive projectile hits to reach maximum energy decreased from 6 to 4. Glaive melees can be interrupted by hunter dodge. Glaive robber now pulls from reserve. Sealed Hom Kara grasp no longer works. Blah blah blah. We already know what they've done. Here's what they're doing. They're pushing glaives deeper into their roles of hard-hitting melee damage and near-complete protection when shielded, as well as increased projectile speed to make them more reliable. That's really cool. Sorry, I have fucking something in my eye. The glaive shield currently grants 97.5 damage resistance in PvE. That's absurd. I knew it was high. That's like near complete. That's crazy. And 35% in PvP. Next season, they're increasing the melee damage versus PvE enemies by 25%, except for bosses and vehicles. They are reducing the energy drain speed by 30%, and they're increasing the projectile speed dependent of the range stats. So the higher your range, the faster your projectile speed will be increased, which is pretty awesome. I mean, it's doubling at the very least, and it is getting a 25% buff at max range. So all around, impulse amplifier does not seem like it is going to be required anymore. But let's be honest, I don't use glaives. You don't use glaives. It'll be double as good in patrol or something. That's pretty cool. Air assault's back. Yeah. All I want for the parasite catalyst is give a worm a scream that has a Doppler effect. That would actually be really, really cool. But it's like the Wilhelm scream too, right? That'd be awesome. The exotic glaives. This is actually really interesting. The Titan glaive, now you gain an overshield while you're inside of the bubble, and Helmut Saint 14 applies to the bubble. So in PvP, you're going to be blinding everyone, I guess. The Warlock glaive, your healing turret projectiles now they're faster. They shoot faster or more consistently, and they go faster, it seems like. And then the Hunter glaive, they tripled the damage of the little, and they increased the number of enemies it can chain from 4 to 8. That's actually kind of crazy. Interested how this plays into Arc 3.0. Be pretty cool. I've used the Enigma glaive since launch day. What the? Yeah, I don't use glaives at all. I don't find them fun. I do not find them interesting, and I certainly do not find them effective. I don't think I've touched a glaive in ever. No, obviously I used them when they first came out. But no, man, it's just not it. This is pretty crazy. 100 glaive, I think, is going to be the best one, but we'll see. Global changes to Flinch. So here we go. We've rebuilt the stability weapon stat to grant flinch resistance. Holy shit. I cannot talk. I'm so sorry. In addition to its other effects, with a maximum flinch resistance of 10% to 25% dependent on the weapon archetype. With this change, players can build specifically for flinch resistance more easily on weapons that feel flinch more than others, and less so on special weapons. That's pretty cool. Here's the breakdown. At 100 stability, you get 25% less flinch with auto rifles, SMGs, and bows. You get 20% less with pulse rifles, scout rifles, sidearms, and machine guns. You get 15% less with hand cannons and trace rifles, and you get 10% left with fusion rifles, shotguns, sniper rifles, grenade launchers, linear fusions, and rockets. Yes, flinch resistance on a rocket. They do like a bunch of math here, but essentially your stability now directly correlates to how much your weapon flinches. If it's still, it's been a long time since I've played on controller, but I remember this mattering way more on controller, and they have made some changes relatively recently. Was it with Season of the Lost, maybe, where mouse and keyboard players get a little bit more flinch, if I recall, but I really haven't noticed anything, to be honest. So, I'll probably not pay attention to this, but I imagine a lot of people, especially on controller, probably will. Or, you know, let me know if any mouse and keyboard users out there maybe feel the flinch a little bit more. But I haven't really noticed it. It's not so bad. So, in the Witch Queen reveal, you said I'm a Glaive main. I'm calling it now. Now you're not. Shit. Well, hey, dude, we're wrong sometimes. That's okay. Little sus how they didn't nerf the Titan Helm. They nerfed empowerment stuff, and almost certainly that will be nerfed too. Well, when we get to that, we'll talk about it, Dawson. But the helmet doesn't need to be nerfed. It's the buff that you get from Sunspot that needs to be nerfed. But my Sunspots need to be brought to their former glory. So. Airborne gameplay. This is where everyone and their mom and their favorite coffee shop owner and their cat are freaking out right now. So we're going to talk about that. All right. Before getting to build crafting, we've made a fundamental change to the modifiers applied while airborne. Your primary weapons will have less randomness in projectile accuracy in most cases. You'll have less aim assistance set. So right now, if I jump in the air and I aim, let's say like Caleb and I are in a Crucible map, and I jump up in the air and I aim right at Caleb. If my gun is on his head, there's still a very high chance I just miss that shot due to bloom or randomness or whatever you want to call it, projectile accuracy. Because currently, when you are in the air, there's some modifier applied to your bullet that dictates a percentage likelihood that it actually goes where you're shooting it. And that is unbelievably frustrating. It never feels good to do everything correct. You know, you have the reaction or whatever, maybe you're mid gunfight and you have the reaction to jump up and spin around, and you have the aim to perfectly aim and you still miss. That is something I have been incredibly frustrated with forever. I've never liked that. It's never fun. And so I like this change, personally. At least how it is displayed here, I think this is a good change and it actually increases the skill gap in the game. So you will now need precise aiming to land your shots without building heavily into airborne. And so what it is now, and we'll talk about this, is now when you jump up, instead of your bullets randomly not going where you're shooting, now they will go where you're shooting. You just have less aim assist. So your shot needs to be even more accurate. Instead of shooting 2 inches to the left of Caleb's head, and normally the bullet magnetism would go and hit him in the head, now it might not do that. And this is good because it requires you to be good at the game, and there's no randomization of, oh, this bullet just not gonna hit. I think this is good. Things are gonna seem much more consistent here, and it is going to reward better play and better aim over some RNG factor affecting whether or not you're hitting shots. And so there's been a lot of people complaining about this. And like a lot of people that I would consider to be like sweats or tryhards or people who would I'd generally be like, yeah, they're probably good at the game. And a lot of people are saying, I've seen this, they're nerfing jumping. But like, as it is displayed here, and we'll keep talking about this, that's not true. That's not how I interpret this. Benzo, refresh, so I don't know like how people are interpreting this or what they're reading, but to me, this seems very much like a rewarding skill type of change. So I don't really know. I don't really know what's going on here. So they've added an entirely new weapon stat to the game. So this is if you guys aren't familiar with this, if I go to like gunsmith or d2gunsmith.com and I look at any let's do this. So if I look at like my palindrome here, you can see impact, range, stability, impact, range, stability, handling, reload speed, right? And then fire rate. But if I pull up palindrome, oh, it's gonna do this again. Are you fucking kidding me? Yes. If I pull up palindrome, you can see that it actually has additional perks that you can't see. And there's generally 3 extra stats, rather. Aim assistance, which is going to be how much bullet magnetism does this gun have generally for mouse and keyboard. It has to do with like cones and shit as well. Go watch a Fallout video, okay? I'm a PvE sweat, okay? Zoom, which is when you ADS, what's the magnification on your aim, and then recoil direction. This has to do with does your gun kick up or left or right or what have you. So now, this is Destiny2Gunsmith.com. Now, going into next season, what's going to happen is we're going to have a 4th hidden stat. And what's really cool is next season we won't be able to see this, but going into season 18, Bungie has already said that we are going to see these hidden stats in game, which is awesome. So Airborne Effectiveness next season we won't be able to see. It will start to exist, and then season 18 we should be able to see it actually in game. But what this does, what Airborne Effectiveness does, it makes that your aim assist higher in the air if you spec into it. So, you know, if we look at like my impact is 84, this is how much damage each bullet does. Or we can say range, right? Range, the higher your range is, the further your damage fall off points are. And so, as you get closer to 100, you get closer to this maximum value of, oh, I can shoot at X meters before my damage falls off. So Airborne Effectiveness is going to go to 100, and as you get closer to 100, you're going to have more of that aim assist in air. And so if you don't have as good of a shot, or you're not as consistent with your shots, you'll need to spec into Airborne Effectiveness a little bit. If you play in the air, if you never jump, this doesn't matter. But if you're a player who likes to be airborne a lot, you're going to have to spec into Airborne Effectiveness if you can't consistently hit your shots. If you need some aim assist, which is fine. It's obviously there to help people. And as you increase your airborne stat, you will then start to be able to hit more of your shots because you'll have more aim assist. Is that iridescent coral on the pally? Probably, yes. So, from 0 to 30, which is going to be your base, a character will have a smaller accuracy penalty than retail. So, this means it'll be less of an accuracy penalty than we currently have, meaning you'll be more accurate than we currently are in air, but you'll have way less aim assist. So, once again, your shots are going to go where you shoot them, but you need to be accurate to hit them because there's no aim assist helping you out. With minimal investment, 30 to 50, a character will have around the same in-air accuracy as Icarus-equipped weapons currently, which is, like, perfect, you know? That's pretty cool, but with noticeably lower aim assist. Once again, with 30 to 50, which I feel like most guns will just have intrinsically, at least that, they will, at base, feel like an Icarus grip weapon right now. Which is kind of, that's good. That's a good change. So, how do you get airborne stat? We're going to talk about that. They talk about it. From 50 to 70, you'll have better accuracy than right now. Than weapons with Icarus right now, you'll have even better accuracy. And you'll only have slightly lower aim assist. And then from 71 to 99, you will have 0 airborne accuracy penalty. Your bullets will go exactly where you want them to go. With slightly less aim assist than when you're on the ground. And then if you have a perfect airborne stat, if you spec into it completely, your guns will feel exactly the same in the air as on the ground. And so as you can see, it seems to mostly affect aim assist. Accuracy across the board seems to be much better in the air, which once again really leans into that if you can hit your shots, there's less randomness there. It's truly how quickly can you aim and how accurately can you aim in the air. I like this change personally. I think this is good. Of course, it's hard to make a judgment on something like this when we haven't played it yet, and that's going to be a huge thing. Of course, opinions are subject to change as we actually start to play this. But all of this reads to me. We'll talk about it, Jarek. We'll talk about it. That this is just an increase of a skill gap. If you are a player who can't hit your shots as consistently in the air, you need to take some of your stats and build into airborne stats if you want to play in the air once again. But if you are a good player, or maybe you hit your shots a little bit more consistently, you don't have to spec in this. You can spec into other things. Boom, skill gap. That widens the skill gap right there. And so I'm not really sure when people say they're nerfing jumping. What, am I missing something? Like, I don't know. There's been so many of these, and maybe we'll take the Twitter and see some hot takes and react or respond to them. But I either am like dumb and I'm missing something so obvious, or maybe we're just understanding something differently, or what. I saw something. Doesn't that just devalue the use for Adept Icarus? Another reason not to use farm for Adepts? No, because here you can see this. The stat has been hand-tuned on all exotic weapons, everything I shipped in 16 or 17, and everything that's ever shipped as a Trials or Nightfall loot will have like a hand-tuned, like a higher value, essentially. And so that makes things like the Palindrome, Adept Palindrome. Yeah, you can put Adept Icarus on it. I'm not really sure what that is. Actually, they talk about that down here, I think. They talk about that down low, and so we'll go over that too, but I don't think it'll be useless, and I think it'll be helpful to spec into still. Yeah, certain exotic armor pieces and gear give negative air accuracy. I only saw one, and we're going to talk about that too. All right. This will be a hidden stat at 17 launch, but in season 18 you'll be able to see them. Yeah. This stat influences several aspects of airborne gameplay. Aim assist, cone penalty. I don't know how to interpret this. Like, every time I read like an accuracy cone thing, these numbers mean nothing to me. This is like if you know nothing about Celsius at all, like you don't know the scale for Celsius, and someone's like, it's 28 degrees today. Like, that means nothing to you because you don't know Celsius, right? And so while they're giving, I really appreciate any time Bungie gives us like actual numbers. I have no reference of what these units mean. So I don't know how to interpret this, and I don't know how I feel about it actually relating in game. So anytime I start seeing anything about aim assist cones or accuracy cones, it's like I'm just gonna have to feel and see how it feels type of thing. I've watched like all the Fallout videos and all the Cammy Cake videos trying to explain this shit. It's just like, it just seems so arbitrary. So, yeah. Accuracy cone makes as much sense as the making of bread. That is exactly correct. Headshot aim assistance, 0 at 0 stat. Yeah, like I don't know. This controls how forgiving headshots are while airborne. If this is 0, you must be pinpoint aiming precisely at the head to get the headshot. Otherwise, you'll get a body shot, even if your aim assist cone overlaps the head. Okay, yeah, there's like a bunch of shit there. What this means overall is that you'll get fewer misses due to randomness. That's good from the accuracy cone while airborne, but reliance on aiming is much higher at a lower stat. Once again, skill gap. To make this easier, you will need to build into airborne, and with decent aim, you will land more body shots instead of crits. Good stuff. Yeah, before and after examples, these are more degrees, and so 28 Celsius is 82 Fahrenheit, which is scary because it's the exact temperature where I live. There you go, dude. Yeah, okay. Airborne airborne effectiveness stat comes from 3 sources: your weapon, your subclass, and your armor. So I think this is going to be probably the most frustrating thing about airborne effectiveness, is if you don't hit your shots as consistently, then you will you have to change a lot of things. You have to build in a lot of different ways. So with the normal PvP lag, I'll never get a headshot again. I mean, there's some PvP lag, but it's not so bad that players are vibrating like that. Or at least mine isn't. That's not my experience. I definitely face like a laggy person now and then, but it's not every single, like, I would say, Alexander, at a point, if every single person in the world is laggy to you, that doesn't really sound like a them problem, you know? I'm just gonna throw that out there. You're probably being hyperbolic, which is fine. But, you know. Accuracy cone smaller equals better. What's not to understand? Yeah, no, that's fucking fine. Duh. But there's obviously, just saying better does not translate to how it feels or how it is in practice, right? Like, if you say like, oh, I'm decreasing the reload speed by about 20, I can visualize in my head, oh, so it will take about this long to reload. It will feel like this. If you say I decrease the accuracy cone by 0.5, I cannot in my head visualize, oh, I have to be 0.9% more accurate or whatever. Like, I think, Jeffrey, you're missing the point, which is fine. But that is not what I'm saying at all. So, I'm saying in terms of, with stuff like accuracy cones and aim assist cones and headshot, all this shit, you have to play with it to feel it. It is much harder to have an abstract interpretation or like an understanding or an estimate of how that translates to the game, because this is not something, at least for me, that I'm commonly, it's not like public, right? Like, as I'm using guns, I'm not like, oh, my palindrome has an aim assist cone of 98.9, but my Fatebringer only is 85, so I can feel the difference, or whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just not how it works. So, you gotta, I don't know. There you go. But at the same time, I think if you're able to jump around the air and spin on someone who almost caught you by surprise, you have a reticle on head and the bullet goes nowhere. That's not fair. No, it's not fair. You shouldn't be able to jump 25 in the air into the, 25 feet into the sky and have Chris Kyle aim. Airborne should be less attractive. I don't know if I necessarily agree with that. Like, the only reason I think, because if you're airborne, most of the time you are making yourself an easier target. And so I don't, if you have the player's skill, or if you have played enough of the game, or if you're lucky, I don't care, and your reticle lands on someone's head, there's no reason that shot shouldn't hit. You know, you are putting yourself at a disadvantage in the air. And there's another thing too. A lot of people don't think about this, and for me, at least playing mouse and keyboard, it has been made way more apparent. But say like you are floating in the air using like key rises or something, it actually makes everything more difficult because you are also adding way more of your verticality in terms of having to aim on your y-axis, which is not something you generally have to do a lot. A lot of aiming in especially Destiny or in a lot of games, you keep your reticle generally mid-screen, right? Or you know what I'm saying, like eye level, and there's not a lot of like up and down, and if you have to, it's very minimal. And so most of your aiming has to do on your horizontal x-axis, where you're aiming from left to right, not up and down. And so as you rise in the air more, or you're floating in the air and you're getting more kills in the air, at least for me, especially going on mouse and keyboard over the last couple of years, I've noticed that was something that I definitely did not have trained as much. And I had a lot harder time aiming up and down than left and right, just because you don't do it as much. And so when you are jumping up in the air, you're putting yourself at two distinct advantages, meaning it's harder to aim and you're more of a target. And I don't think either of those things, or any advantage that you might have, justifies any sort of random accuracy nerf or whatever. Bullets randomly missing. I've never thought that felt good. It's always awful, in my opinion. The only thing I can kind of see an argument for is if you have like a PC player playing like a controller, or sorry, a mouse and keyboard player playing like a controller player. Because controller players typically have lower sensitivity, and so if you jump over their head, they're fucked. Like, that's it. You win that engagement, pretty much. Bungie just recently increased the sensitivity cap on controllers, so that actually maybe gets rendered a little bit moot. Yeah, yes, honey? Oh, hello. So, yeah, stream, if you did those carries before the last emblem, you have to do 10 more. So, yeah. Okay. Yeah, so that's just my... I got collective on Master, yes. You do seem to match mostly players across the world, South America. So make sure you're on the right Steam servers. That's very strange. That has not been my experience at all. I don't know. You know, different. Obviously, this is all anecdotal and stuff, but that has not been. Sounds like you might have like a setting off or something. Yeah, but I think overall, at least in my opinion, all of these changes only widen the skill gap, which I like. I don't see anything wrong with that. We'll keep talking here. Weapons base airborne effectiveness stat with ranges varying from 0 to 10 and 0 to 30 depending on the weapon archetype. Exotic weapons typically get bumped up higher stats than legendary weapons unless they're extremely strong. Icarus grip / adept Icarus mod add plus 15. Does this mean regular Icarus is only plus 10? I don't know. It's weird that they didn't spell that out. Certain weapon perks also give you more stats, such as the air assault perk. Valid stat ranges for legendary weapons, and so I think this is what you can get on the gun itself, but then I think if you use your subclass and armor ones, you can go above this. Maybe that's kind of how I read it, because I'm not sure. Like, I think these are like the starting ones. So like Sweet Business by default, I think, has 27 in-air accuracy, and you can use your subclass and your armor to boost that higher, is what I think this means. Ace of Spades and Chaperone are the only two that got like really low ones. You know, none of the other ones that are low, like Merciless, who the hell shoots that in the air, Fighting Lion, like you don't really need it to go where you aim anyways. Yeah. Oh, and higher tier, this is for someone was asking about this, I forget who, Dawson. Higher tiers of legendary weapons from trials, nightfalls, and raids use the upper end of these ranges, so they will always have like the highest base stats. Yeah, so these are the base stats. Then you have your subclass and weapons, which can also go further. Your subclasses one, some example, Heat Rises, which is like consuming your grenade on top tree Dawnblade. You get plus 70 while Heat Rises is active, meaning with these base stats, you will almost always have 90 to 100 stat, or 90 to 100 in-air effectiveness while you're using Heat Rises, which is perfect in-air accuracy. Tempered Metal ability, which I think is hammers. Let me check that. I think Tempered Metal is bottom tree hammers. No, it's top tree hammers, isn't it? Let me check that real quick. So let me see what it does currently. Yeah. Solar ability kills grant you and nearby enemies bonus movement and reload speed. And so that also now gives you plus 20 after getting a solar weapon kill. So You'll almost always, just based off of this perk, be boosted into that mid-range, which is more accurate currently than... I think that's more accurate currently than Icarus, or as accurate as Icarus, which is pretty good. Whisper of Hedron, stasis fragment plus 20 after freezing a target. And I'm sure this is only a couple of examples. I'm sure there will be things littered throughout, and especially with, you know, Solar or Arc 3.0, whatever we get next. And then there's exotic armor that revolves around being airborne or works on specific weapons, grants a bonus or penalty. So Foe Tracer, if you're using Foe Tracer, you always get plus 20 to your airborne stat. Back in your Trick Sleeves gives you plus 50 to sidearms. Oath Keepers give you plus 40 to bows. This is strange because, like, who the hell's jumping and using bows? I'm not doing that. And in fact, if you double jump, it cancels your bow, right? You can single jump, but I think if you double jump, you lose your bow draw. Maybe not. I think it does, though. Sealed Out Humkar Grasps gives you plus 50 to all 5 seconds after a melee hit. That's kind of a cool one. I'm sure there will be some sort of niche there. Lucky Pants, plus 20 to hand cannons after readying a hand cannon. Stompies. This is the big one. If you are using Stompies, you immediately lose 50 points. Which, unless you are in a very specific, you know, subclass, like unless you're using Heat Rises, seems to always put you to 0. Which is 0, if you recall, is better accuracy than we have now in the air, but way less aim assist. And so if you use Stompies and you play in the air, your shots have to be dead fucking on every time. And there's still going to be a little bit of bullet randomness. But the trade-off there is Stompies make you faster, they make you sprint faster, and they make you slide further. And so the idea is you have better map mobility. You could jump way higher, but if you're engaging while you're in the air, you better hit your shots. You better be very accurate. Which, once again, like, that just means that, like, random people can't spam Stompies. If you're using them, you're either sticking on the ground or you have to be good at the game. And that's, like, that is a skill gap thing. Like, once again, am I missing something? About to find out which of these Stompy mains can actually aim. Exactly. And so, like, this is another thing I'm talking about. Like, there is, at 0, there is a little bit of accuracy randomness, which I don't like. I think the base should be, like, I do like how they're aiming more into aim assist than accuracy, and they're making you more accurate as a baseline in the air. But in almost every case, you're gonna have better, or equal to, or better than Icarus grip that we have right now, just by, like, the default stat on the gun. Just by default stat on the gun, and then, you know, maybe Icarus grip or whatever you throw, or any exotic or anything. So this is just enough for Stompies. It's really going to be used for more positioning now, and you better be good if you're taking those air engagements here. Stompy shotguns won't be a thing anymore. They'll still be a thing. Don't worry. All right, we're gonna keep going. No backup plans. You get plus 30 to shotguns. That's interesting. Axiom War Rig, plus 30 to auto rifles and machine guns. Hollow Fire Heart, plus 20 to all. Line Rampants, plus 50 hipfire only. Peacekeepers, plus 40 to machine gun or submachine guns. Peregrine Greaves, plus 20 to all. Eye of Another World, plus 15 to all. Astrotype Verse, plus 30 to all. Ophidian Aspects somehow got buffed. This is my go-to Warlock exotic in PvP, and it will remain that way. And so let's say the average gun has 25, you get 15 from Icarus, or 10 or 15 from Icarus, plus 10 here. I will always be at 50 or 60, which is more accurate in the air than all guns are right now. So just by nothing, I'm already more accurate than I am now, than guns are now. I just have to hit my shots because I have less aim assist. I think that's a good change. I think that is a fantastic change, personally. I really, really love that they embrace the connection between necrotic grips and weapons of sorrow. Seems minor, but this is a great case of Bungie addressing what players expect. Yes, and all that, as well as Lumina and Boots of the Assembler. I love interactions between exotics like that. I think they're so cool. I wish more classes had them, because Warlocks have the only 2 examples that exist right now, but they're fantastic. I love and adore stuff like that. I think it's really cool. It adds more, because it makes your builds feel like they have character, right? Very cool. I main Stompy and shotguns. These nerfs don't impact me. I can hit my shots. I only use my shotgun for cleanups and ship damage, not one-hit kills. This is all actually fine. I think for most people that are complaining about it, it will be actually fun. Yo, what's up, Hugo? Necrotic grips get plus 30 to all weapons of sorrow. So I assume right now that means Thorn, and I assume that means Osteostriga. And those are the only 2 that exist in the game right now, but if Necrochasm and Touch of Malice ever get added, those will probably count as well. Wings of Sacred Dawn give plus 50 to all. Boots of the Assembler give plus 30 to Lumina. See, that's really cool. And then Redacted. And so what this means, this is pretty obvious. So they did Hunter, and then they did Titan, and then now this is the Warlock section. And then this is plus 30 to fusion rifles and linear fusion. So Warlocks get some sort of exotic next season that buffs or has synergy with fusion rifles and linear fusion. So if you're a fusion rifle user, you have that to look forward to. It's kind of cool. So that means in general, if you want good airborne effectiveness, say 70, you should pick a weapon with a high stat, put Icarus on it, which isn't a problem, usually, and then either equip either an exotic armor piece that helps or run a subclass aspect, fragment, or ability. And if you want the best possible airborne effectiveness, you'll generally have to go all in on a weapon, exotic armor, and subclass. So that's cool. Like, I don't know, man. Like, I want to keep checking Twitter, because I put this out as a tweet. I'll actually show you guys my tweet. Oh, anytime I see a freaking actor I like trending, I freak out. Like, oh, Jesus. But I put this out. Maybe I'm dumb, but doesn't the in-air accuracy change, and thus the Stompy nerf, actually increase skill gap? Accuracy is decreased a little at lower investments, and most of the in-air accuracy seems to be aim assist. So like, people who can't aim don't need to spec into it. Obviously, I could have gone more into depth. This is a 240, like exactly 240 characters. And yeah, I don't know. That's my thoughts. I'm gonna keep checking on that tweet, because I wanna keep getting the vibe of where people sit on that. But it really just seems like a good change, in my opinion. So we'll have to see. Titans have interactions too? What are they? Titan has an interaction between a gun and an armor piece? What is it? I don't know. So, I don't know. That's not so bad. So Frontier's Cry, for instance, comes with 19. Has a precision hand cannon bonus, which is plus 25 for precision frames. I didn't even see that the first time, dog. What are precision frames? Like, Ariana is a precision frame, right? Wait. Does he even have a frame? Isn't Palindrome a precision frame? No, it's an adaptive frame. What are precision frames? Are those 120s? I'm not good at this whole frame thing, sorry. Oh, 180s. Oh shit, dog, 180s are back. Bro, breaking out my Luna's Howl. Wait, was that a 180? I don't even fucking remember. Okay, look, I don't really do all that. Yeah, 120s are aggressive. That's right. That's right. That's right. I don't know how you fuckers keep all that squared away in your head. Okay. So pretty good. And then you get 15. So regular Icarus grip is 15. But they said Adept was 15 up here. Adept Icarus weapon mod is plus 15. So are Icarus and Adept worth the same now? That's kind of weird. We'll see. That's what we'll see. New Archetypes. It was all right. It was pretty good. It's on the playlist. Yeah, it was fine. I'm interested to see more of it. It was pretty short for an Architect song, I feel, but I'm excited to see what else, you know, comes out, because is this like a new album already? I don't know. We'll see. Yeah, exotic weapons are next. So now they're talking about like usage. This is crazy, dog. In Crucible, on this day, this is all the breakdown of all the exotics used, and Stompies is 40% of all exotics used are Stompies. And in fact, isn't there, it's not only 40%, because this blue here, I think this is no exotic, but this might be no exotic. But then what would this be? This color coordination thing is not great. I think this is no exotic. So 40% of hunters on this day were using Stompies. That's absurd. Yeah, Wonderlands did add some new stuff. Maybe we'll check that out. I have to download it. I have to pay for it. But I definitely do want to check that out. This is not as bad. 20% of people are using Dune Marchers, I think, or ACD. No, that's okay. Yeah, Dune Marchers. And then we have a lot of Loreleis, of course. Mask of the Quiet One. That's kind of strange. So that's interesting. Warlocks. Bungie looked at this chart and they said 40% of people are using Ophidian Aspects, so let's buff them. So that's kind of weird. But notice, right? Movement-based exotic, movement-based exotic, handling-based exotic. And I guarantee if there was like an Ophidian aspect for the other two classes, they would be used as well. Are transversives on here at all? Transversives are further down. They don't even show them. So they must actually not be used that much, which is very surprising. I know a lot of people that use transversives. That's interesting. Playlist things. These are what are cycling in and out. So, oh, wait. Oh, no, never mind. We're going to be able to farm these with extra perks and stuff. Green section in your bottom here. No, there's no... Am I just dumb? I don't think I can count, but I don't see any... Okay, sorry. One-hit kills in special ammo. There are several damage buffs external to weapons that allow for weapons to one-hit kill without much investment, such as aggressive sniper rifles with high impact reserves, Ariana's Vow, or a Monarch, specifically when combined with an external 20% damage buff. As an example, Empowering Rift can give many snipers one-hit body shot capabilities in the Crucible. Most of these use the same buff under the hood, so we've adjusted them all at once. With these changes, it's going to be much rarer to get an easy one-hit kill with a weapon that wouldn't typically allow it. Reduced the damage bonus for Empowering Rift, high energy fire, and inertia override from 20% to 15%. And I would be shocked if Sunspots or Sun Warrior don't receive the same nerf. I would be very shocked. In addition, we want special ammo to be less plentiful. This is one of the best changes I think they could ever do. Ammo scav mods do not work in PvP. No matter how much ammo a player was carrying on death, if you pick up a special brick, you can only get one singular ammo for shotguns and sniper rifles, or one kill's worth of ammo for weapons that require more than one shot. So Forerunner will get 3 shots. Trace rifles will get something, 18 or something. Retunes several special weapon archetypes and exotic weapons with the general goal of reducing the effectiveness and uptime of special weapons. The death of special weapons. Can we get some ones in chat if you're excited for the death of special weapons? Can we get some one spam in chat? Some one spam? Hell yeah, brother. Hell yeah. So there you go. Archetypes. Special weapons, in particular shotguns and fusion rifles, are responsible for more one-hit kills than we'd like in PvP. So here's this same chart. Shotguns are responsible for 50% of all special weapon kills. That's absurd. Trace rifles are a modest 1%. 1%, by the way. And this has been consistent since the beginning of the year. That's pretty funny. All special weapons have had their in-air accuracy significantly reduced. While we are okay with encouraging players to build into using their primary weapons more effectively in the air, we do not believe a prevalence of airborne one-hit kill options is good for PvP. Special weapons have had a slightly larger airborne accuracy penalty than other weapons at 0 airborne effectiveness. Reduced to... Sure. Special weapons have had a similar airborne aim assist cone. I don't even care because I'm not going to understand it. Sniper rifles are fairly slow to ready. This is a POG change. Fairly slow to ready, stow, and aim down sights, which made snapshot feel mandatory. Reduced stow, ready, and aim down sight times by 10%, i.e. all snipers are more snappier. That's awesome. That's awesome. Sniper rifles have less access to ammo, so we think that ammo scarcity will prevent this. So this is, I assume this is, this has got to be shotguns, right? Oh yes, shotgun usage. Lightweight shotguns. Fellwinter alone, the only shot package shotgun, accounts for 18-ish% of all the kills, of all shotgun kills. Rapid fires, no one uses them, to no one's surprise. Lightweights, I did not know they were this popular. I love lightweight shotguns. Like, I'm a Reese Walker simp dog. They account for 40-ish%, and aggressives are only about 10 to 20%. So, very interesting. Lightweights are a lot more popular than I thought, which is very interesting. Slug and pellet shotguns are still overwhelmingly popular. Slug and that's all shotguns. All shotguns are still overwhelmingly popular in PvP, despite some recent changes. So we've touched them again with the goal of encouraging some diversity in the special weapon choice. We're keeping an eye on this change since we've touched shotguns multiple times recently and will adjust if needed. With this change, we expect shotguns to have a shorter one-hit kill distance by around half a meter, 1.5 feet, because, well, 1.7 feet. Because the importance of spread angle is just as high as damage fall off, and this is not so. Reduce damage fall off, start and end by 1 meter. Reduce aiming system. Blah, blah. They just, you know, they don't kill from as far. That's awesome. Fusion rifle usage is also trending pretty high, particularly in trials. I never thought I'd see the day where this was a phrase in a TWAB, by the way. That's kind of crazy. That fusions have come a long way in 2 seasons. So that, I mean, that's kind of cool. Bringing shotguns down a little more would make them too good of an option, so we made a global change. With these changes, plus 20 meters or more fusion rifle one-shot kills should be very uncommon. It's kind of cool. Here we go. So this is fusion rifle stuff. Holy shit. This is odd how it'll... I guess these are like weeks where Xur sold it. Or trials. These might be trials days. And so what you can see here is main ingredient, of course, is the most popular. That makes sense. I wish we always had access to this data. This is really cool, dude. This is awesome. Likely suspect has remained very popular, which is very interesting. Some people like Deliverance. No one uses Cartesian. Very cool. I like this. I like data that looks like this a lot. I think that's really cool. When we rebuilt fusion rifles in Season 15, we wanted to differentiate the subfamilies dramatically from each other, and it worked. Now that we've seen them in action for a couple seasons, we're pulling back from the extremes a little. With these changes, fusion rifle subfamilies are still very different from each other, but high impacts are stronger, and rapid fires and precision should be a little less dominant. High impact, reduce unmodified high impact charge time from 1 second to 0.96 seconds. Increase damage per burst by 10. Precisions, increase charge time by 0.04 seconds. I mean, 0.04 seconds is like nothing. Rapid fire increased once again by 0.04 seconds. Do you think that'll... How can anyone read this chart? Well, x-axis is date. And so you look at the vertical slices on the dates. And so, like, if we just pick here, so on February 17th, this was the average usability. So on February 17th, 20% of the kills were Cartesian, 1% was whatever this orange one is, Dreambreaker, 5% was Glacioclasm, probably. There's too many colors. And they're doing colorblind friendly colors, which is of course fine, but that even further limits how much you can tell apart. Main ingredient was like 40. It's vertical slice. Yo, Blake, what's up, dude? They seem very minimal, but I'm very interested in seeing how this plays out. Is Skyburners our first weapon with 9999 project? No, there's a lot of hit scan things in the game. Fusion rifles are hit scan, bows are hit scan, I think. Sidearms are hit scan? Is that right? Anything that you hear is hit scan. There are a lot of things. Anything that doesn't have bullet travel time has max travel speed. So anything that's not a rocket, a grenade launcher, a glaive. I'm missing something. I know I am. Yeah. I think bows very recently became hit scan at max draw speed. I thought... Maybe I'm making that up, but I thought that was like a... Maybe I'm thinking of when they made... Yeah, when they made sidearms hit scan. I thought it was bows, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. But I thought it was like a bows hit scan when it's full... Maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, besides, Divinity Tracer Rifles aren't as popular in hard content as we want them to be. They increase Tracer Rifle damage against non-red bar combatants 20%, and then increase the ammo picked up per special brick a lot. There's a technical difference between 9999 projectile and hit scan, but felt no different. Oh, okay, there you go. Auto rifles and pulse rifles aren't as competitive. I am right about bows? Okay, that's what I thought. But it's... With a game this big, and especially because I'm not like the most PvP focused guy, it's so... There's so much information, and it's hard to keep it all straight all the time, especially when it's always fluctuating and changing. And so I try my best, but especially with a lot of these more PvP relevant statistics and facts and stuff, it's so hard to keep them straight. Auto rifles and pulse rifles aren't as... So this is something that they're... This is something that's really cool to me, is that this time around, they're not really nerfing that many things in terms of weapons. They're buffing other things up, which I think is generally the way to go. There's obviously some exceptions, but here they're not, like, for instance, nerfing hand cannons. They're buffing auto rifles and pulse rifles. At least I don't think they nerf hand cannons. I don't remember them doing. So that's cool. So auto rifles increase damage fall off distance by almost a meter. Pulse rifles increase damage fall off stuff, which is just cool. Just good stuff to make them feel more consistent and better. Lightweight pulse rifle damage per bullet is 15 to 16, which means it will take a reduced number of crits to kill. So lightweight's like, I think, BXR, or the pulse rifle from the 30th anniversary event. I think that's a lightweight, I believe. No, it's not. Oh, it has its own frame. That's fucking right. I forgot about that. I can't name a single lightweight. See, I'm not as good at that stuff. So there we go. Go back to fusion changes. Would a meter nerf? No, I don't think so. Chattering Bone. Oh, there you go. Oh, Chattering Bone, and that would mean there's the Gambit one too, right? That was lightweight. Oh, yes. Yeah, it was a meter nerf. Oh, Bad Juju. There you go. Yo, Ferzinian, what's up, dude? So it'll be cool. I just anytime you make these little things that aren't as usable more usable, I'm down for that. Zoom is too important of a factor on SMGs, so essentially they've changed the zoom by a lot on different stuff. Shire's Wrath gets one less zoom. Multi-mock goes down to 15 from 17. It obviously depends on scopes, because like a lot of these have different scopes. Stochastic, Gain Zoom, Eye Close Seraph, Every Waking Moment, Huckleberry. They all get a little bit of zoom. Oh, Outbreak. Yeah. That would be a good one. Adaptive SMGs are, and they're starting to make adaptive SMGs again, but in their current form, they kill a little too fast with body shot, so reduce the body damage to increase their body shot time to kill by 1 bullet without impacting their optimal TTK. So they've slightly decreased body damage, but they've increased the precision multiplier. And precision hand cannons, you get plus 25 airborne effectiveness. We've already talked about that. So precision hand cannons, yeah, let me see. So yeah. No, why did it highlight that? What are like usable precision frames right now, hand cannons? I'm trying to search them, but I do not see any in my vault. Oh, 180s, the new Iron Banner hand cannon is usable still. No, so sorry, usable meaning non-sunset. What are non-sunset 180 hand cannons currently? And the 7th Seraph, are those the only two? Oh, DSC. Oh, Malfeasance as well. Yeah, man. All right, so there's a couple. Maybe this might be the start of a 180 comeback, man. All right, heavy weapons. Machine guns aren't where we want them to be, so all machine guns have been buffed 40% against PvE enemies and 20% versus bosses. Xenophage and Grand Overture receive this buff, except for the bonus versus bosses. Pretty cool. Sword stats have been fixed. That's fine. Rocket launchers, if you guys remember, at the start of Witch Queen, they were differentiated. So precision frames were minus 5% damage. Adaptive and aggressive got plus 5%. But now they're doing an additional 10% in either direction, where precision damage rocket launchers, so this is like your Palmeras, get 10% less damage, and your adaptive and your aggressive, like your hotheads and your other. That's pretty much the only the good one. What's your red herring? Yeah, your red herrings, that sort of stuff actually do more damage. And so I mean, yeah, whatever. I'll still probably use Palmera for Rolk, but yeah, I mean, cool changes, whatever. I mean, cool, maybe not cool changes, but not the worst. Yes, I really liked the Thunderlord meta personally. Oh, and I didn't even think about Thunderlord Arc 3.0. That's a really good point. Yo, Reginald, what's up, man? Waiting for a craftable 180 hand cannon. I'm sure there will be, yeah, especially with these buffs. I'd be surprised if we did not get one next season with like Air Assault. Yeah, man. Also, a small thing, the Nightfall Rocket can roll with auto-loading lasting impressions, which might be nice for hot swapping now. Yeah. So, decent changes, whatever, all around. Fighting Lion got a little bit more of a buff. That's fine. Eyes of Tomorrow got some big buffs. Increased damage versus bosses and champions by 30%. Maybe Eyes of Tomorrow will be usable now? Leviathan's Breath has been changed a little bit too. Archer's Tempo perk now works extra well on Leviathan's Breath. So its scalar is 0.75 normal. Now it's 0.56 times, so it'll draw faster, which is cool. Also, Leviathan's Breath, if you guys recall, hits, does physical damage, and then it explodes. They added a small delay, so when it hits, it'll stun a champion and then blow up and do extra damage, which is pretty cool. They did some work on the damage splitting as well. Huckleberry had an underwhelming engagement range, so whatever. They're reverting. This is like one of the top 5 best changes, chat. They're reverting the changes to Xenophage. So they're increasing the rate of fire back, which is awesome. Which is very, very, very cool. And then... it's also getting a small buff as well, which is really cool. Sorry. Monarch versus players is getting a little bit of a nerf in PvP, so that's good. Monarch I find very frustrating. I don't know if that's just me. I find it incredibly frustrating in Crucible. Changed poison damage type from burn to poison. This will matter, I assume, a lot more in maybe it'll have synergy with like the corruption class or something. We'll have to see. And then the poison to take damage versus AI is actually increased, so it got a little bit of a buff. Lawrence Driver got some changes, nothing big. A lot of people are gonna like this. I hate Skyburner's Oath. I don't know about you guys. I don't like Skyburner's Oath, but it got some pretty big changes. Increase ADS projectile speed. So if you guys don't know, when you aim down sight, it shoots like a huge slug. When you shoot from the hip, it's like a little tracking dart. They now fire the same rate of fire. ADS is now hit scan, essentially. The hip fire projectile no longer scans, but it arcs similar to grenade launchers and has a higher detonation size. It applies burn. It now has like faster reload speed and good, like, dude, there's so much shit here, dude. So we'll see, man. It has the highest airborne effectiveness stat of any weapon in the game. So we'll see how that works. Arbalest got a little bit of a nerf. Reduced damage versus champions by 25%. That's a little unfortunate, but it'll still be amazing. They did some small changes to Graviton, Grand Overture. These are really cool. All 3 of the OG Trace Rifles actually got some buffs. Cold Heart gets a sustained damage buff where if you keep doing damage, you make an ionic trace, and collecting it grants energy to all of your abilities. So essentially like what Chaos Reach does as one of its passive perks. So that's kind of cool. Prometheus Lens now adds more useful burns to targets. And the Wave Splitter doesn't cycle its damage randomly, but when you pick up an orb, it'll suppress targets. So this actually feels like it's gonna be like kind of scary in PvP. Am I the only one that thinks that? Like, I know orbs aren't the most common thing in the world, but like, sheesh. Lord of Wolves had its own tuning, that's fine. Snapshot it got a slight nerf, so that's fine. Opening Shot got a slight nerf on shotguns. Well, kind of. You get more range bonus, so that's interesting. Full Choke got a slight rework. I'm gonna wait for the Fallout testing on these, to be honest. Desperado this is huge. This is one of my favorite changes. So it won't be quite as good in PvP. So you won't just fire quite as fast. It slows down a little bit, but that allows them to put it on more weapons, which is fine. Slightly lowered the duration, but we were just talking about this the other day. When they reintroduced Desperado on the Messenger, they actually nerfed it. And so in PvE, there never used to be an impact fall off. Your bullets did the same amount of damage before and after Desperado was activated. They changed that, they gutted it, and so it was awful in PvE, but now they are removing that. So Desperado is going to be really good in PvE content, which is pretty exciting. I'm very excited for that. Air Assault gives you plus 60 to Airborne Effectiveness when wounded, which is kind of interesting. I'm interested to see how that plays on things. Mulligan was changed. Essentially, if you miss a lot of shots, you'll get ammo back in your magazine. Yeah, it's kind of strange. Where on primary weapons, you're more likely to get ammo back. Compulsive Reloader got a slight buff. Adagio got a slight nerf. Oh, here we go. This is what I missed. I missed this the first time. Icarus gives you plus 15 Airborne Effectiveness. Airborne Icarus, or Adept Icarus, now gives you plus 15 Airborne Effectiveness and plus Handling. And so it doesn't give range anymore. Interesting. Desperado full auto mod. I've been using that so much, dude. I love my Messenger. Desperado with full auto. More stuff next, starting in a couple of weeks. Things are being sunset. So Occluded Finality and Finite Impactor from Iron Banner, those are being temporarily sunset, or not sunset, but they're leaving. You can't get them for a while. The Comedian and the Palindrome from Nightfall's gone. Shira's Wrath and Messenger are leaving. I would say these are three very popular guns that are leaving in about a month. So if you don't have a good Palindrome, and you don't have a good Shira's Wrath, and you don't have a good Messenger, get on that shit now. And then next season, at the end of next season, Peacebond's leaving, Archon's Thunder is leaving, no one cares. Plug 1 is leaving, no one cares. Hothead is leaving, that's huge, get a good Hothead. Soul is leaving, and Summoner is leaving, which is, Summoner just came back, right? So that's kind of weird. So yeah. Rotating in and out guns. New term abilities, tuning, sure. Axiom bolts take longer to charge. That's awesome. Bastion, Titan Barricade now takes less time to, more time to regenerate, which is good in my opinion. There's all sorts of small stuffs here, but Renewal Grasp goes from 50% damage reduction to 20, which is also a good change. I got 5,000 PvP kills on Plug 1 Adept. What do you mean, who cares? All right, 2 people care. Good. No, I'm just messing. Hey, if you want one, get one. I don't. It's not my thing, but if you want them, get them, man. Yeah, there's new Trials Labs or Gambit Labs next week, which is interesting. When you invade, you instead of like having to kill things, one mote is taken every second, which is very strange. So they will be hunting you down, and so when you invade, the other team will be hunting you down, and you have to hide. It's like the opposite, which is kind of cool. Kind of cool. That's pretty much everything, I think. Yes. Okay. How to make Gambit worse? I'm actually quite curious. You have to be near the bank? Oh, did it say that? I actually didn't see it say that. Let me go down. Let me check it. Oh, you need to be near the bank. Okay. Never mind. It'll just be like, Invaders had that perk in Gambit Prime. So it's just Gambit Prime again. That's fine. I thought it would be really cool if it was anywhere. If you were anywhere, imagine you invaded, you're draining moats, the other team can see you through walls, and you have to run away. That shit would be nuts. That would be nuts. Oh, man. Man, wouldn't that be crazy? That'd be really cool. Okay, so What are we gonna do? I think. Do I have anything to do in Destiny right now? Oh. So I don't really have much to do in Destiny currently. I'm gonna rip this checkpoint off of chemo real quick. Also love the indirect Stompies nerf. Yeah, I think it's really interesting. So what we might do is maybe we'll check out the Borderlands update or the new DLC. I'll have to like download it and shit, but I can work on that.
You have served your purpose.
Here, let me do this real quick. So I'm always afraid because Epic Games like shows your stuff, and I don't want to like dox myself or show my credit card number on stream. Did you farm out Adept Silicon Neuroma? No, I don't have one yet. I should probably get one. But no, I haven't even touched GM since that first week. Guardian Games is 1.5 weeks away. I'm very excited for that. I'm very excited. And the new... How do I... Tiny... The new season's only a month away, chat. Which is pretty nuts. How do I buy... Season. We don't really talk about leaks here, so I don't really want to talk about the armor. I'm sure they will announce it very soon anyways. So that's been bought. Okay. So yeah, we can... Yo, what's up, Lab? So we can check out... Wonderlands is updating right now. And I think we are good. So I can show my monitor again. And yeah, we can check out this new DLC. I'm a little skeptical, right? Because the DLC came out 1 month after the game came out, which is very strange. Do you think Eyes of Tomorrow will be meta when it gets buffed? I think meta is a very large assumption. So I definitely don't want to say that. I'm hoping it's good. We'll see, man. We'll see. It's Eyes of Tomorrow has gone through some weird things where it was really great when it first came out. They fucking killed it immediately. And then it was really good in Gambit. It was like the Gambit weapon. And then Gallahorn came out. And so it was just like, holy shit, they killed it twice. They killed it twice so fast. And so, sorry, let me turn down the volume a little bit. Very strange. Very strange indeed. Eyes of Tomorrow has just had an awful history of usability, which is unfortunate. Mark all your collections as red? Nah, dog, nah. Just finished Trio Flawless Vow. Nice, dude. Who'd you do it with? You still prefer Eyes over Gallahorn? Really? Really? So I'm very interested in this DLC because like I said, it came out, it's a month after this DLC came out, or after the game came out. That's so fast for a DLC. And so I'm thinking it probably won't be very big. I just don't know. I don't know how do I access it? Do I have to download it? Or... Oh? Yeah, I had to go here for something. I don't know what though. How do I start it? Did I download it? How to start the Coiled Chapters DLC? Yes. Oh yeah. Okay, so I was there. EA would make the DLC a day after release. That's true, man. Any interest in Elden Ring? Not particularly. It's not really my type of game. Oh, do I might have to go to the overworld actually. Okay. It's not really my thing. I've never been a big fan of like those types of games. I'm glad everyone else is enjoying it. How many people own Eyes Not Enough to be meta? I mean, like Not Forgotten was meta, and like 3 people own that shit. So I don't really know if I'd say that. Oh, here we go. Any interested in Deanne? What's Deanne? He's nuts. Oh shit, this looks dope. What?
Good thing that caravan ominous might be scared otherwise. That fortune teller looks awfully.
Yeah, so
Which is both
all of those changes are really good in my opinion, or most of them are really good. I'm still very curious. Sorry. I'm still very curious why everyone's freaking out like it's I saw people directly say it's closing the skill gap, and that's just not how I interpret those changes at all. And so I'm just so confused, man. I really am.
A little closer won't hurt.
I didn't think it would hurt until you said that.
I can tell you're an expert, Warlock. Far beyond the bright. And now you're here.
So I don't know. I'm excited to see what all the changes play like, and oh,
Your aura is radiant. It's top notch.
you're happy with the in-air changes as poggers? Yeah, I'm very interested to see how it plays out for sure, man. Personally,
Cloud rain money.
well, I was stoked about scavs getting shit on. I was hoping that it would mean they'd get rebuffed in PvE, but that does not seem to be the case, unfortunately. Oh. Closing skill gap? How? I don't know.
What kind of partnership? Money talks and fortune.
Oh, is the game lagging a little?
tell.
The only limit to your fortune.
That's what I look. Anytime it's like you actually have to hit your shots, in my opinion, that's like oh yeah, you have to hit your shots.
All you need to do
So
is look into a mirror and say yes to what you see. You've come this far of your own free will. A little farther won't.
can I spin this thing? Nice.
What a brilliant soul you
I'll have you know, flattery works. Do it again and see.
Bro, that's lame.
Though yours is enviable, I was admiring the lost souls you collected. Place them as an offering in my wheel of fate, and see what fortune is in
Last aim assist is always a W for me. I'd rather miss than be held by a pesky computer. Fair enough. And like, you know, I'm not the best aiming person in the entire world. Like, don't get me wrong. I just think it's okay. I just think, I don't know. I'm gonna wait and see how that plays out. We'll see. They sound great to me. Oh, is there no subtitles?
Doesn't reflect how you look. It shows you who you are. As we gaze into the unknown, we see the familiar, coiled, fishing for their perfect catch. A bigger fish than their friends. A prize to make all their struggle worthwhile. And as they waited, they realized they didn't even like fish. It was slimy, scaly, and it smelled like, well, family. So they set out in search of better prey. And, almost by accident, they stumbled across a beast beyond their wildest imagination.
Huh. Borderlands story always hits. Very strange, though.
For most, these frigid mountains are home to mythic specific
If the
monster,
game starts lagging, please let me know and I can lower some of my settings.
but not for you.
That was on my end.
The threads of your fate are always stretching across what looms. Drawing fire, saints and gods, outwitting the ancients. I wonder, could you still be awed by the sight of a great behemoth, hounded by guards? Yearning to be free.
Tread territory.
Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. I feel like people always have a tendency to freak out way too early with these things as well, though. So,
I see no surprise.
oh my gosh, yeah, maybe I do need the aim assist. Holy shit.
You see a long tail and fins, two at least.
All right, you know what? That's fine. I'll just use it.
And solve that puzzling contraption ahead. The column, the levers, they require somewhat of imagination.
Hardly a challenge.
Wait, do enemies just endlessly spawn here?
What an industrious mind you have.
Yeah, I don't know. What was everyone's favorite favorite patch note or favorite thing that they're going to change? That they said they were going to change, or at least favorite. That's fine. One thing you liked, one thing you didn't like. I think my favorite. I don't know. I really like the xenophage thing. I'm pretty excited for that. I really like the Desperado thing. That's such a minor thing. Like, most people won't care, but I fucking love Desperado, dude. So. My bad? I'm very excited for that. I can't wait to use it in PvE again. It's been so long.
A god who wants to kill me and the world.
They should just remove PvP at this point. I don't like, okay, so, like, lore, my dude. Because they obviously don't know what they're doing. Like, what do you have a problem with what they did? Like, I'm genuinely curious. So why are you saying that? Like, what? I don't know. What in this series of patch notes led you to that conclusion? Cold hard dub. Plus, I like the utility that they're giving weapons. Also, fighting lion buff. I'm not looking forward to the fighting lion buff. Anytime we might get killed by fighting lion more, like. The Stompy nerf, essentially, it's hard to explain. It's a quite long, oh, what the frick? It's a quite long explanation, but essentially, Stompies will now make you way less accurate in the air. You have to have insanely good aim in order to effectively use Stompies. Fair changes are changes to Xeno and buff to machine guns in general. Least favorite is probably Despacito is getting worse for PvP. Yeah, at least we'll be able to use Despacito on more types of SMGs though, or pulse rifles, excuse me. So that variety will be exciting because we only have it on one gun. They've only ever been on that archetype, excuse me. And so I'm excited to see what it looks like on different things.
I feel magical.
Oh, it's a barrel. Rip Stompy Hunters. I'd be fine with the Stompy nerf if there's another good PvP exotic for Hunter. What's Dragon Shadow is like a sleeper hit, dog. Why are they missing names? What does that mean?
Dream up a way past them, would you?
Or Foe Tracer. Foe Tracer's good now. Yeah, definitely. I'm looking forward to using it on other pulse. And also take a Despacito weapon in PvE. Maybe they'll update the Insidious and give it. Yeah, man, that'd be awesome. Yeah, Reginald. I think those are all really cool. I'm excited. I started to say that earlier. I forgot that I never finished it, but I'm actually like a really big fan of the machine gun meta. Like when Thunderlord was meta right after Last Wish came out, or I guess after Festival came out, and it was just like it melted stuff. I remember so good against Morgath, and oh man, I just remember having so much fun in that meta all the time. It would also be interesting on a 4-burst. Oh, yeah. That's a really good point. That would be really awesome. Wonder if there's any secrets. I should be looking. What if Stompy's is a base game armor and it's just now a problem? Well, I think it's been a problem for a while, right? Like, it's just hard if you don't really have a solution or a way to... Or if it... I think problem's a really large term, right? Like, Bungie very obviously does not like when a large portion of the game is using anything. Like, they've always said that they nerf on percent usage every time over how overpowered something truly is. They've said that so many times, and they've done it so many times where they'll nerf something that isn't necessarily, you know, the most powerful thing in the world just because everyone is using it, and they want to enforce the idea of, yeah, I forgot. Sorry, Sweeney, I forgot Insidious was a 4-round burst. That was a dumb. Just a blank mind on me. They've said they want to enforce using different things. They've talked about this before, and that's almost certainly the idea behind the Stompy thing. Guardian Shadow is good, but then they nerf the dodge, charge time, and feeding aspects is 100% better because you don't need to waste an ability to get its buff. That's fair. Maybe we'll get new stuff too. You never know. It is very possible that we'll get a new exotic as well. So, I mean, we are getting a new exotic. We just don't know what it is for hunters. So we'll see, man. Give Stompies a movement speed, take away, kill. Taste word. Give less passive ability, which means hard. Wait. Give Stompies a movement speed, take away, kill it. I'm so confused. I'm not sure if you're saying this, but Stompies already does have a movement speed passive. It makes you move faster and it makes you slide further. It's a very diverse gun, as is. I think I'm supposed to be looking for this chest. Aha. Should be a catalyst for a raid exotic. That would actually be kind of cool. Oh, it's just chaos chambers. We're gonna see what this looks like. We'll see.
The prisoner desiccates in the deep, eyes parched, mouth dry as it thirsts for taste. You imagine a life shackled.
I kind of want them to talk more on adept weapons and what they want. Yes, dude. So I actually did a talk with Abantis, one of my content creator buddies, last night, and he'll have a video going up on Saturday of our talk. He's gonna edit it and stuff. And we talked about this exact thing. I really get the impression that like Bungie doesn't really know what they want from the adept weapons, or I'm not sure. I just wish they would talk about it. I agree. Like, I never like when they're silent on something that's so obvious like this, you know? I wish they would just talk about it. Just something. Just say something about it, you know? So, we shall see. I also get the feeling that they don't really know what they want from adept weapons. So we'll see. It's hard to say, man. Surprised that Telesto hasn't screwed up the game yet. Hey, dude, give it time. Who knows? Yeah, it was a really good talk. Like 40 minutes long. I'm sure the video, like I said, or I'm not sure, the video will be up on Saturday on his channel, and I'll of course tweet about it and talk about it. Push people over there. Did you have collective obligation now? How are you liking it so far? I literally have not touched it. I have not been using Void 3.0 a lot. I use Tether on Hunter, but I don't. Nothing in the game really requires builds, so I don't really. I mean, I use Elemental Wells for everything because I already had an Elemental Well build set up before the raid. But other than that, like I don't think the content that we have justifies builds, so I haven't been making them. So yeah, I haven't tried collective obligation at all. I'm not really. I am kind of weird about guns where I don't really just switch up what I'm using for fun. That's not really me. I've never done that. I always use like what's most efficient or what fits into my builds, because that's what I find fun. Just like min-maxing and stuff. So. Oh, that's my guy. Like, don't make it increase movement speed and give an ability you have to work to activate. Maybe if you just get a kill, you get the boost for your entire team. Oh my god, that would be so broken, though. Just wait till, let's see how it plays in-game, you know? I really don't think all of this is going to be as bad as people. Because that's me feeling, as they give minor stat bumps, but the mods are supposed to be the hotness. Yeah, but, and also, how is one adept mod supposed to ever compare with two adept perks, or enhanced perks? I just don't think it'll ever work out like that, you know? I'm missing a chest. Where, oh where is this chest? But yeah, I'm very interested if the rate of Stompy usage goes down a significant margin. Like, yeah, I'm very curious on how all of these changes affect things. So we'll see. Dude, I must be like blind as fuck or something. I'll just go on without it. I don't really care that much. Oh, there it is. Yeah, I get that. I was just wondering what your take is, since most of the community seems to collectively ignore its existence, besides the usual reviewers, and I get that it's not that great. And I think the thing is like, new builds and stuff are really cool, sweetie. Like, don't get me wrong, I like making new builds, but if there's not content that justifies making the new builds, why am I going to go out of my way to do it? You know? You see what I'm saying? It'll help a lot more, like, most of what I play is solar. I really play a lot of solar subclasses and everything. With the exception of Hunter, but I think once Solar 3.0 comes out, I'll be much more likely to build craft with solar things and things that play into solar builds, because that's just what I use. Like, I'm not gonna go out of my way to use Void and build a class for Void when I just don't need to. You know what I'm saying? So I am, I'm very curious. I'm sure it's great. I'll probably get around to using it eventually. But I think, yeah, that's really the problem. Like, content becomes very easy, very fast, and it's really hard to justify or get motivation, I suppose, to do that. Take all the time out of my playtime to go make a build or research a build or whatever for nothing. You know, there's no reason to have a build like that. And so, yeah. Let's say there's very little reason to have a build like that. I guess is a little bit more accurate. Benzo, welcome back, dude. How are you doing? Bro, there's a lot of nerds here. I'm wondering if the spawns are infinite. I have to do something.
Magic time.
Nice, nice. Anything fun? Says your toe looks good. Nice, dude. Nice. That's awesome. Doesn't it just make you want to have surgery like every day of every year, man?
Stop this water from rising. Find the release valves. Or maybe you got a big straw and ate way too many salted nuts. Okay, no, the valves are easier.
Oof. Understood. I'm really looking forward to the solar rework as well. And today's swap with all the changes in air accuracy has me wondering if there will be options for heat rising for the other classes. I would be, since Arc is based around movement, I would be very surprised if Arc didn't have a lot of built-in air accuracy stuff. I get that vibe at least. I bet Arc will have a lot of built-in accuracy bonuses. I'm liking the aesthetic of the DLC. How much is it? So it is, I think, like $10 standalone, but I think the entire season pass is only $20. So, which is 4 DLCs. I think it's gonna be pretty small. This, I don't know, just off the bat, it seems like a different Chaos Chamber type of deal. I don't know. I haven't seen any reviews or anything. I just know it came out today, so I just want to play through it and see what it's like. I'm sure they added more weapons and stuff, but it definitely seems more equivalent to like a Borderlands 2 Headhunter pack versus like a proper Borderlands DLC, which is kind of unfortunate, but like I said, it's only been a month. I don't know how the hell they put this shit out so fast.
Let the magic begin.
Heat Rising is a Warlock thing, probably an aspect. Well, there's a lot of things that were quote-unquote class things, right, that they changed. Devour used to be a Warlock thing, and now every class can get it and stuff, so we'll see, man. I don't know. I'm not gonna go into this expecting anything, but I definitely wouldn't be surprised if different classes, there's a lot of overlap again. We also, I mean, we don't know which one's next, and we don't know if you know, Void had 6 verbs or nouns or actions. Stasis only had 3, so are all the 3.0s gonna have 6? Was that just a Stasis has a lot of power fantasies, so we had to fill them all type of thing? Like, I'm very interested to see how they handle this entire situation, because I feel like there's so many things they could do. Oh.
It's too nippy in there.
Are you serious?
Cold is the second from all those terrifying tiny fish teeth.
It would seem you're not done here. Delightful.
You die once and it kicks you out? Are you serious? I don't like that at all. Hey, can this drop anything good?
You make it work and put it to work so well.
I do love to dress up while I'm dressing skellies down.
You can't go to war without a proper wardrobe.
Fair enough. Okay. Well, I'm actually so hungry. It's only 6 o'clock, but I haven't had dinner yet, and I'm starving. So I think I'm gonna go eat dinner. Yeah, tomorrow, maybe a stream. I'm not really sure what my tomorrow looks like. I am unsure if I have any lab responsibilities this week. So I'll keep you guys updated. If not, we'll definitely do a trial stream or something. I don't know. I haven't played I haven't done a trial stream in so long. So we'll see. All right, guys. Everyone have a fantastic night. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. I'll see you guys very soon. Oh yeah. Peace out, everyone. Have a good night.